Sister, another episode of Saving Time, and still wearing my holiday apron. We are so close to the holidays. And actually, before I forget to say it, this will be the last episode of Saving Time until the new year. Next week, December 24th, Christmas Eve. We should all just stay home and look after our families. And the next week is December 31st, New Year's Eve. So again, maybe you're not hanging out with your family per se, but maybe you are. Either way, a little bit of celebration. Let's not just watch YouTube, okay? So I'm going to see you in 2022 when we come back again. Right now, to make sure that you're aware of when that's coming on, I'm going to say it before we all forget. Well, me, I'll forget. Make sure that after this video you like, subscribe, and hit the little bell so that you're notified when the next Saving Time episode comes up after this one. Okay, it's going to be a couple of weeks. We'll forget. We'll lose track of each other. That'd be a shame. This week's recipe, to get down to the point of being here, is brought to us by the local food club kids of Headwaters Food and Farming Alliance. We're making a vegetarian chili. Yeah, nobody's going to miss the meat. So whether you're a vegetarian family or not, dig in. This is a nice recipe. It's got lots going on in it. Because it has a lot going on in it, I've already been filling the compost hole. My gift to nature, it's coming back as more food. Merry Christmas, right? Look at that, it's coming back as more. That's it, that's all we do. We just give it back. We just keep giving it back and it gives it back. It's brilliant. I went ahead, I sliced and diced. I saved this bad boy, the celeriac, because I thought maybe some of you haven't cut up a celeriac before and we do that one on camera. Everything else was normal stuff. Things we've done plenty of times on air. Right off the bat, you need a decent sized pot, a couple tablespoons of oil of whatever variety you use. I've got olive. Do 2 good tablespoons to get things going. I'm going to go a tiny bit more in case my tablespoon is short. Let's get it on some heat and start it up. Just going to start on some low heat here, just to warm up that oil. First things we're putting in are our onion and the celeriac. So the onion is all cut up. Celeriac, let's get to it. It's not hard. Kind of like the kohlrabi, and it's a little bit ugly. It's basically celery. Okay, the flavor is celery. That's the name similarity, celeriac and celery. Cut the top and the bottom off. We want to get it flat. And then that's coming back. Look, I'm just such a giver this week, right? I'm in the Christmas spirit. Giving it away, giving it away. And take the top off. It is windy out there today. Holy mackerel. It's probably, we're just going to take the sides off next. It's probably not going to come as a giant surprise to you that I have been, on my personal time, a bit of a baking fool. I tend to get carried away at the holidays. I've baked a lot. And in the last couple of days, I've been making fudge because, you know, what's a holiday without some fudge? And it's so fun to make and it's so easy. And I think to myself, why have we lost the art of making fudge? Because, I mean, it's sugar and cream. It's so simple. And I actually use evaporated milk. So, I mean, a pan of fudge comes together for probably like $3 and you only eat a little piece. Really, probably the most economical treat you can get. Celeriac is funny because it kind of looks like a potato now that we've taken the skin off. And true enough, it does. I'm going to go ahead and put my onion in that pan. The oil will be hot and then we'll chase it with our celeriac. We'll cut it up next. So 1 full onion diced up nice and small. Sizzle. There we go. We'll turn that right down. And now we'll get this one diced up. I'm going to cut it in half again. And then go small pieces. And then I'll dice them. Get yourself a flat side for the cutting board. And just go, go, go. Much easier if you can get it flat. Too much work when you're trying to cut it and it's tipping all over the place. I always try to do stacks, less cutting, less time, keep that moving. Dice it up relatively small, but I remind you, it will taste like celery. So, I mean, you don't want it to disappear. And it's a chili, so it's nice to have things show up in it. But we are working with the dice. All of the food that we're using this week, it's come from a lot of different farms and everything. These food kits are quite something because they really go around and source out from many local farms. We'll just keep throwing it in. There's that, smells nice. I think I've told you before, I'm all about the smell of fried onions. I love it. And just doing that. I was in early this morning here, ahead of filming, to do a little something, and I'm going to show you here in a bit, but I'll wait until I get this off the table. Getting ready for the holidays. It's fun. I love it. I wonder if you're baking too and what your baking traditions are at home for the holidays. If you've got favorites that have to be on the table. I'm just stirring it around to make sure that all of it is getting coated with the oil in the pan. And look at us go. But a fair bit of slicing and dicing, I mean, but that's okay. A lot of it you can do ahead of time like I did. You could even do it before you go to work in the morning if you wanted to, and then just have it wrapped up or in a bowl in the fridge and ready to go. And the only thing is keeping separate the things that don't all go in at the same time. You need to cook the onion and the celeriac a little bit longer. So it needs to go in that much sooner. Look at that, there's a lot in there. That would be the equivalent of a whole bunch of celery, I would say. And again, just coating it in here. I can hear the wind in the building. It kind of seems to rattle. I keep feeling like there's something happening upstairs, but it's just blowing around outside and it gets caught in the building, the high ceiling, so it throws me off. Oops, maybe that stack wasn't meant to be. Holiday traditions. I mean, and I was talking about how much baking I've done. The thing is everybody's got a little favorite, right? Everyone's got something that they really want for Christmas. For instance, I know that my friend Shannon here is hoping for some Nanaimo bars. I think that she should be able to get some. And at home, I mean, I like the fudge. The fudge is probably for me. But my husband likes these cherry bars, and then the kids all like shortbread, and somebody else likes Empire. There's so many things. And you want to give people their favorites because that's what the holidays are kind of about, right? Is giving to people the things that they want and like, a little bit of what they need. We'll just let that go. It's doing fine. So there's our celeriac and onion going ahead. It says to give them about 5 minutes, and then we're going to toss in 4 cloves of minced garlic. And again, I did that off camera. We've cut up garlic many times. So that'll be ready when we are. After that, we're going to add oregano and chili powder. These are both, I think I showed off my husband's nice chili powder before. Oregano dried from the summer. Tablespoon of chili powder, teaspoon of oregano. And if you have it, throw in a teaspoon of cumin as well. The recipe calls for it. I didn't have any. I didn't go out and buy it. You know what? I thought I could fly without it. I'm going to go ahead and put this in. And there it is. And we're just getting things started. And see, you can just see the glisten that shows that everything is coated in oil. Just stopping it from sticking. I think I can hear the wind up through the exhaust vent is I think where it might really be coming from. We've done that. As soon as that garlic starts to soften up a bit, we're going to add our seasoning. And then, after that, I have This food kit was packed, by the way. I should have kept it to do on camera, but I wanted to get a head start on all of this. The green peppers, I bought separately. They didn't come, it's not in season to grow pepper locally right now, so I've purchased. Carrots in the bottom, both just nicely diced. They're gonna be dumped in after our seasoning. 2 cans of diced tomatoes. I picked them up at No Frills, they're $1 a can. I mean, are you kidding me? So the pepper and the tomatoes, I'm in $4 on this meal in addition to what was provided in the box. And as always, Headwaters Food and Farming Alliance gave us extra boxes to share around with local families, which I did yesterday. So these are all going to go in, and we're going to let it go. And I've got beans and corn to add in a little while. We'll come back to that. I'm going to give this a stir, and if I'm happy, I'm going to add my seasoning. It's very fragrant. Well, you can imagine the things we have in there. How could it not be? Onion, celery, and garlic. Of course it's fragrant. It kind of smells like samosas, which is a good smell as far as I'm concerned. By the way, don't know if you noticed this. This is something that my grandma used to do, and probably because she didn't have a great big roll of plastic wrap. So when you've got things in a bowl, leftovers, or you're storing it, 9 times out of 10 you can find a plate that'll fit on top of that bowl and be a lid. Now it's fresh, and we didn't, wipe out the environment while we did it. A handy little trick. We're going to add our seasoning, tablespoon of chili powder. That's not going to go in there, so I'm just going to use 3 teaspoons. 1, 2, 3. Now, as far as the chili powder goes, you're going to know if your family is high spice or low spice. Okay, so judge accordingly and go from there. We want a teaspoon of oregano. I'm going to go like this and just crumble it in there. There we go. And give it a good stir around. Again, we're looking to coat everything with those nice seasonings. There we go. I know that the chili powder that my husband made is going to have beautiful seasoning. It's going to make this pot of chili go like crazy. We didn't even use that, so I'm going to put it over here because I will not torment myself by washing something that didn't get used. Those are done. We've got all of that in. Here come our peppers and our carrots. And now we've got color. Now we've got good color. That's in there. And we'll just give it a push around. Again, we're just making sure everything is coated and shared through. Look at that. It looks nice, doesn't it? It really does. Okay, we can let that go for a bit. There's another bowl. That one bites the dust. We can get rid of that spoon. Carrots and diced peppers, cook 10 minutes. I kind of think I might need another little shot of oil. So I'm just going to drizzle it across the top and then stir it through. I don't want things to get stuck. That'd be a drag. That'd be a big drag. It's beautiful food. There. Just to keep it nice. Just like that. We're just going to let that soften up for a few minutes, maybe 10 minutes. And while we do that, we can talk about our radishes and Brussels sprouts. Again, local farms. These radishes are called watermelon radishes, and aren't they pretty? Don't be fooled, they do not taste like watermelon. Okay. Watermelon radishes are definitely more radish flavor, more watermelon appearance. Okay? Don't bite into it and think you're going to get a fruit. You're going to get a radish. That pungent flavor of a radish. We're doing that with the Brussels sprouts, and they're going to be roasted. So I've prepared a casserole. Use a baking sheet if that's what you want, but I like the casseroles because then I can stir without worrying about it falling off the sides. So I just cut them in half. Outer leaves will fall off, let them. And the radishes, you can see I've just got them in slices. Keep them relatively large, don't let them disappear. We're going to put a little bit of oil on them. think like maybe 2 tablespoons, just give it a good drizzle. And they're gonna be in the oven for a while, so they need something. Some salt and pepper. I'm gonna do a little bit more pepper. I can hear a lot of sizzling behind me, so I'm gonna just give it a stir. Really nice. There we go. And some salt. Salt and pepper, there we go. Not too much salt because the radish won't need it. I probably had a teaspoon there. Don't you think? I think it was a teaspoon. I'm gonna definitely call teaspoon salt. And that can go out of our way. So we've got this, and now we're gonna spread it in this casserole. We'll just give it a little bit of a push. When we dump it, we can push it around more. And I could have had a bigger bowl, but it wouldn't have looked so nice. There. And you know what? Roasting Brussels sprouts is great with your holiday meal. It's a nice, easy thing. You pop that in the oven with your turkey or whatever you're doing. And they look great because they hold their shape, so they're nice when they go to the table because they look the way they did going in. Some things get, you know, a little less appealing in the cooking. And they don't take long in the oven, and they're pretty easy prep. I just pushed that around so that they were all coated in the oil, salt and pepper. That's going to be ready for the oven when we need it to be. It'll be 30 minutes at 400. See a little something there. I don't know. Something off something. So 30 minutes at 400, and we'll get there when we've got our chili ready. We'll put it in the oven, and then everything will be ready at the same time. I think we can add our tomatoes now. Beautiful. Jen, you want to get a shot of this? It looks nice. Just so people can see kind of where we're at. Not too much oil. That's really, I mean, it's just going to float to the top otherwise, right? So just enough to keep it from being stuck to the bottom. Let's add our tomatoes. We are adding tomatoes and then, yeah, just gonna add our tomatoes. The beans and corn will come later. We're gonna let this go for a while. Sorry, not my recipe, and I'll tell you what, I'm not a recipe girl. I'm a bit of a, let's add that, and then I don't really know. But I'm trying to do it the way they want me to, so they keep inviting us back. Put that in there. And then those are diced, and I think I already said don't get the ones that have herbs and seasonings in them, or you might be getting a seasoning that you weren't counting on. So give it a stir through, push it through a little bit if you need to, like lift it up, fold it in. Just do that, and then we're gonna leave it just to cook away. We're gonna let that cook for, it's recommending 30 minutes, and then after we add the beans and corn, another 10. So I'm gonna come back in 10 minutes, we'll stick that in the oven, and then we'll come back in 30. Okay, I just put the Brussels sprouts and radishes into the oven. They're gonna be 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, like that. Here we are. This is coming along beautiful. I added a little bit of water. I had one of the empty cans from the tomatoes, and I put about a can full in. I was a little worried that it was gonna get, without a lid on, that it would simmer away on me. This is 1.5 cups of frozen corn niblets, and the beans that were provided in the food kit, and I soaked them overnight. I put them in some water yesterday and then drained them this morning and just had them sitting in the fridge. If you're cooking this for dinner tonight, so to speak, just put your beans in water in the morning, and then they'll be perfect when it comes time to add them too. I brought this over here because I'm a little worried about how full it could be, so I thought I'm gonna minimize the amount of splashing that could go on over the heat, and I'm just going to do that. I used a pot for my beans on purpose so that I'd have the handle for getting them in there. I was thinking about pouring it over on the stove. This is gonna be great. But I am glad I added that bit of water, and that's an easy thing to do. And I hadn't rinsed the can yet for the recycling, so it still had a little bit of tomato in there too, and brilliant, right? So, just push it around. Now it says 10 minutes more on the stove. I would think that's your minimum, is 10 minutes. It's chili. You can let it simmer until your Brussels sprouts and radishes are ready. Go ahead and set the table in 10, and then when your other food's ready, you'll be ready. Back on the heat. I'm going to turn it up slightly just to get things moving again now that I had it off the heat. That's all going. Look at the beautiful loaf of bread that came with this meal kit. Really nice. This is from Amanda's Country Kitchen. I believe, I want to get it right. Yes, Amanda's Country Bakery. So beautiful bread. It's gorgeous, right? And we're going to slice that up with the chili. And I'm going to do a slice or two right now while we're on camera. And then I'm going to show you something else. Because I said I was here early this morning, and I'm going to show you why. There's a staple in there that I'm not in love with. There we go. Now, get yourself a bread knife if you don't already have one. Slicing bread, little trick. If you turn it over, it's easier to slice from the flat side. This is not much of a bread knife, but you're going to find it's easier to get a nice tidy slice if you cut from the bottom. I'm only going to slice that much because I want to keep that bread nice and fresh for the family we send this meal to. There you go. Now, why was I here early this morning? Indeed. Well, I came in early to bake an apple pie. So beautiful apple pie. This is homemade pastry. We learned how to make pastry quite a while back when we did meat and potato pie. The same pastry recipe, apple pie filling. This recipe is included in the A Year of Saving Time cookbook that we've put together here at Westminster. Again, just to say, those cookbooks are a bargain at twice the price. $15, almost 40 recipes in there, and they're all, you can always go back and watch on YouTube and see the demonstration of the recipe. $15 goes to food security outreach programming here at the church. How can you go wrong? You're going to buy people a gift somewhere. Why not buy it where it gives another gift? And they're available. Just contact the church at Westminster Orangeville, or you can contact me by email at facility@westminsterorangeville.ca. Church office is open 10 till 1 Tuesday through Friday. Someone will be here and be happy to help you take away a cookbook for gifting or for keeping for yourself. Apple pie. So nice, right? Who doesn't want that? It's still a little warm. I'm going to put it back up there to cool further. Everything here is going to go for 20 to 30 minutes. I'll see you then. We'll plate it up and talk about what a beautiful meal it is. Look, it's done and it's beautiful. Look at this nice pot of chili. Looks gorgeous. Really nice color. And this, I just said to Shannon, I'm going to cook this with my Christmas dinner because look at how beautiful and festive it looks with the radishes and the Brussels sprouts. It's gorgeous. It's going to look so nice. Now right off, let's plate some things up here. I'm going to put some of this deliciousness. This is so pretty. I can't wait. I'm on it. I usually do green beans or broccoli with my Christmas dinner, but this just looks like $1,000,000. So I have to do it. Look at that, so pretty. And now, good spoonful of chili in a bowl. And look at that, that looks nice. And the thing about the chili is, let it simmer away, and if it seems like it's too thick, put a lid on it so it doesn't keep evaporating. And if it seems too thin, take the lid off and let it evaporate through the steam. That looks nice. And then some of this beautiful bread, great like that. I've got some butter ready for the bread. What a nice meal. What a nice meal. So nice. Thank you very much to the Headwaters Food and Farming Alliance for showing us this and for giving me a great recipe for my own Christmas dinner. I can't wait, it's so pretty. A lot of impact with that too, right? People are gonna think that's a big deal. The recipe for today's meal If you, you'll find a link for it in the description box of the video, okay? So if you prefer to read the recipe versus follow along with me, you'll find a link there. Quit letting food eat up all your time and money. You can make good food on a budget and without a whole lot of time commitment. Keep doing the right thing for yourself and for your family. Take care of yourselves. Have a very Merry Christmas. I will see you in the new year. I'm really excited about this. And it's hard. I get excited about things like this. If you're not already baking, get baking. It's nice. It's good. Treat yourself a little. And make that sticky toffee pudding. Consider buying one of those recipe books. All these recipes are in it. And if not for yourself, gift it to someone. Okay? Maybe you've got a young person in your house who's moving out on their own. They could use some good, simple recipes that are on the cheap. Take very good care. I'll see you in 2022. Bye for now.